Hello, and welcome to the Meditation Movement podcast with the British School of Meditation.
In this podcast, we will share all things meditation, including showcasing the wonderful work that our register of meditation teachers are doing all over the country and further afield in helping so many people benefit from this amazing practice.
Meditation and community are our two biggest passions, and we can't wait to share them both with you in this space.
So sit back, relax, maybe even close your eyes, and don't forget to breathe. We hope you enjoy this episode. Hello everybody, and welcome to this Christmas special of the Meditation Movement podcast. So as it's Christmas, for the December episode, we thought that instead of having one of our fantastic register members as a guest on our podcast, the three co-owners of the school would get together and ask some questions to each other. So I am Catherine Banks, as I've mentioned, and we have Catherine Thomlinson and Sarah. So Catherine, hi.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm Sarah. Hi.
Hello both, it's lovely to be here. I'm so excited about what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, this should be really exciting. So the way that we're going to work this, as it's a Christmas themed, we've got an advent calendar here with the 25 days of Christmas. And we're each going to pick a number from the advent calendar. Behind each number, we've got some brilliant questions. So we'll be putting each other on the spot, so to speak, answering some questions about our own meditation experience. There's a mix in there about Christmas and also, teaching meditation. So we'll take it in turns to ask each other questions. So Catherine, do you want to go first?
Yep. Okay. Thanks. I will pick number 12, please.
Fabulous. Number 12. Okay. So the question behind number 12.
Mm-hmm.
How does practicing meditation help you over the Christmas period?
Oh, gosh. Right. Well, I love Christmas. I love the whole build up to Christmas, and I love the time with family over Christmas, but it can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. I think really meditation helps me over the Christmas period in the same way that it helps me in my life. It helps me to connect. It helps me to relax. Helps to, just also I think maybe it's such a lovely time of year in many ways. It can actually help you connect with that wonder of the season. But yeah, definitely. I love as well the way when the nights are drawing in, when it's darker at night, and I usually try and meditate around the time when the sun is setting and when the sun is rising. And it's lovely if you've been out for a walk or something and you've had all that lovely time with your family, and then just having a bit of time for you when it's getting dark and cozy, and you can just relax and get ready for the next thing. But I think really, I think it's the same in life generally for me. I hope that answers your question.
Amazing. That was so lovely. Felt like you were telling a story as you mentioned that.
Oh, I love stories.
Thank you.
Okay, well, shall I ask?
Yeah, so Sarah, do you want to pick the next one?
I'm going to pick 7 because actually my birthday's in December, and so I like to celebrate that before I get to Christmas.
Okay,
So
well, I'll open 7 for you. Okay, Sarah, here's number 7. What is your favourite part of teaching the British School of Meditation teacher training course?
Oh, I would love to say all of it, but I think really, if I was to break it down, I love teaching the business unit at the
Mm.
end. It's a way of seeing how everything comes together, and you take all the information, all the knowledge that you built up in part one, and you start seeing how that can be used when you come to teach. But not only that, it's how we look at putting down some really good foundations for your business going forward. And when I attended the course myself, I'd had my own business for 10 years, and nobody had shown me any of those things. Nobody had said, hey, you're a professional. Have you thought about being a professional and also setting down boundaries for yourself? Nobody had told me the exact paperwork to have in place. Nobody had sort of shown me about safety for the clients or the people that you're working with, your students. Nobody had told me about ethical ways of working as well. And so there's so much that we cover within that. And I found from then my business just seemed to take legs because I'd had the right foundations below. So because I know that and what it did for me, I get really excited. And I think the main thing as well is, when everybody gets to the end and they start producing their lesson plans, that they're going to teach something that comes from their heart. That we're not providing a script, a manual for you to go and use to teach. You're utilizing your experience, you're understanding your target audience, and then you're teaching that from your heart. And that's something beautiful, sowing those seeds in that unit. So that's my favorite.
Oh, that's so lovely, Sarah. Your passion really comes across when you're talking about it. It's wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
that's exactly how I feel. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, it comes across, so thank you. Okay, Catherine, would you like to choose a number?
Yeah, I will. So I'll kind of follow suit with you, Sarah, as my birthday's on the 4th of December. We'll go for number 4.
Okie dokie. Right, number 4. Right, what advice would you give someone who is starting to teach meditation?
Ooh, let's see. I think the main thing I would say is to be yourself and teach what feels authentically right for you. I think that was something that kind of really helped me when I was first starting out to teach. Because I think, as we always say on the course, people will come to you for you and what you teach and what you offer. So I think if we are, teaching from the heart and we're teaching in a way that feels right for ourselves, whilst also kind of managing and looking after our students, that's the best types of being, just to be authentic, because people can tell, be you. So if you are funny, silly, then bring that into your sessions. If you like bringing humor, if you have other hobbies, I think sometimes that's a great thing to bring in, and with meditation, combining your passions. So as much as you can, kind of allow it to be a part of you, because meditation is a part of you, isn't it, when we practice? So I think teaching should be an extension of that as well, as much as it can. So yeah, be yourself. You don't need to try to be what you might see, on social media, or what we might kind of see as a stereotypical meditation teacher. It's about, sharing the passion for it, which everybody has that comes onto our course. We can definitely see that, and being able to share that passion with your students, but in a way that works for you, so that you're, letting your light shine through.
I really love that. I really love how
Me
you're
too.
saying, yeah, I love how you're saying about combining other interests, with
Mm,
it, because that really helps you shine. And I think we've seen people do that as well, haven't we, that have been on the course,
Mm.
and we've seen them thrive because of it. Yeah, excellent
absolutely.
answer. Excellent. Okay, I think who's who I think it's your turn, Catherine, again. I think.
Do you want to go again? And then
Oh,
I'll
all right then. Okay. This time then, I'm going to go for Christmas Eve. I'll go for 24.
Exciting. 24. Okay, so we've got another advice question. Fab. So, what advice would you give to someone who is starting to meditate?
Oh, what came straight to my head is sign up with the British School of Meditation registered member. Sign up with one of our graduates.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, in all seriousness, actually, when you learn with somebody, it really helps, because if you're learning from an app, or if you're learning from a video or anything else, you can't ask advice, and sometimes you're not really sure if what you're doing is okay or right. So when you're with a live teacher, you can ask those questions, you can have that opportunity, you can seek that reassurance as well. They can also normalize situations for you that are actually normal, things that do happen when you start to meditate. Sometimes it's easy and it flows, and sometimes it's hard, but hard isn't wrong. Hard is where we learn. Hard is where we can tweak. Hard is where we can understand. So, and that's what you get from a teacher. But if you are starting out and you are on your own, I think that's my advice. Know that sometimes it flows, sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay for that to happen. Your body and mind is still benefiting even when it's not in the flow. So I think that's what I wish I had somebody telling me when I first started.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Sarah. That's really lovely. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really brilliant advice, because sometimes that is what puts people off, isn't it, from continuing their practice.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that whole, we all hear it, oh, I tried it once and I didn't get on with it. And there
Yeah.
could be so many reasons. It could be the moment that you were in, you just couldn't connect. It could be the meditation itself, wasn't the best fit for you at that
Yeah.
moment. And actually, it's a bit like saying, I tried dancing once, and I didn't get on with it,
Yeah.
because it's just, you might have not found the right music,
Yeah.
or the right place to do it in, the right atmosphere. Sometimes there's so many different components, and sometimes what I've found in the years of teaching, you have people who say, oh, I don't like that meditation, but after 5 weeks of meditating it becomes their favorite one.
Mm.
And it's so much because of how you've reassured them, how you've helped them to get beyond that feeling, that helps them to realize that was the one for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and so many people give up before they've even really started.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
I think someone on the course that I was running this weekend said, it's saying that you try meditation once and saying you don't like it is like trying to tango and say you don't like dancing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I love that. I love
Mm.
that. So, Catherine T, would you like to pick a
Oh,
number now?
yeah. Okay. I'll pick number 3.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So, why did you first start to practice meditation?
Right. Okay. So, actually, my parents started meditating before I was born. They were introduced to meditation by Dr. Rolls, who met the Maharishi, and they were introduced to meditation through Dr. Rolls and the School of Meditation. And so really, I mean, my mum remembers, tells a story, she told a story of me as a little girl. She would be meditating, and I was little, and she could hear me going in and out of the room while she was meditating. And when she stopped and opened her eyes, I had put all my teddies and dollies in a circle around her, so that they were all meditating with her as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So I suppose really it was through the influence of my mum and dad. We, as children, we had a great joke about my dad, because he actually never really called it meditation. He used to call it his exercise. And Christmas, I remember Christmas mornings, we would all be up and, have our stockings and be waiting for, the big event. And he'd come down, he goes, right, I'm just going to do my exercise. And we would be like, what? But yeah, really. So I suppose it was through their sort of love of meditation, personally. And then I asked them if I could learn how to meditate. And so when I was 9, I went along to on the Talgarth Road, where the Study Society was at that time. I think it still is, actually. And was introduced to meditation by Dr. Rolls. So that's how I started to practice meditation.
That's amazing. And was it always there with you then, or did you kind of, because sometimes when we're teenagers and we can be we reject sometimes the things that we did when we were younger.
Yeah, I can't say honestly, hand on my heart, that I meditated every day since then, but it definitely has been something that is very important to me, even if not through those teenage years. And also I found, to be honest, when my children were young, I found it, and I was teaching at the time, I found it quite difficult to, at the end of the day, or even at the beginning of the day, find a space. So I do take, I do understand how difficult it can be for people, but it is something which has always been there, for me in my life. And over the years, obviously I've done different sorts of meditation. So I love chanting meditation. I studied Sanskrit and love chanting meditation, and lots of different visualizations, and so I have practiced different sorts of meditation, but that's how I was introduced to meditation.
I love that story. What a beautiful, beautiful story to share. Thank you so much. I love the whole idea of you bringing your dolls and your teddies in. That's just so, it's so delightful to hear that. It's really lovely. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's really nice. And I think you're right. One of the things I was thinking as you were saying it, like your parents got into it when it was probably a bit weird, to be into something like that. It was a bit out there, and it was very much related to like the hippie culture and dropping out and things like that. And now where we are, we've come to like the swing of the pendulum, where it is becoming really normal. So there are lots of adults that are learning to meditate now. Their children are having that same thing as you, that experience as a child, to get involved with it. And isn't that exciting?
Very. It's
it?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. And I know with my own children, when they were young, they really wanted to know about it. Now they're older, they're not really so into it, but I hope that it will swing back for them at some point as well. And everything they learned when they were younger, just like you, they will think, this is still with me, and I know that I can turn to it. Inspiring. Exactly. You inspired me.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Catherine, do you want to choose a number?
I shall, yeah. Let's go for one at random. 18, please.
Okay. All right, 18. So, Catherine, how has meditation benefited your life?
Oh gosh, how long do we have for the rest of the podcast? I would say, well, in numerous ways. I think the first main way that practicing meditation regularly has benefited me has been, it's made me a lot calmer. I always tell the story when, on the teacher training course of when I was younger, I was very I call it high maintenance. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I studied, I was really kind of very, very academic, but I would put a lot of pressure on myself. So when I was studying my degree, my law degree, I would sit at home and people would literally have to open the door and throw chocolate at me because they would be scared of getting their head bitten off, because I would be very reactive, which, my dad will probably attest to that. But I think from practicing meditation on a regular basis, I recognize now that I am a lot calmer. I can handle, stressful situations a lot better. I still get stressed, but I can recognize when that happens and it doesn't arise as much, and I'm not as reactive. And I think one of the main reasons for that is that I also feel I'm more compassionate. So I can kind of, I have a lot more compassion and understanding for other people, and how my behavior will affect other people as well. I feel it helps me to understand myself a lot better. One of the biggest kind of physical benefits as a result of a meditation practice is that it actually helped me to get rid of psoriasis. So when I was younger, I would, because of the stress I was kind of, I had a lot of, my body would hold a lot of stress, and I had a lot of things happen when I was younger that meant I held kind of emotions in my body quite strongly. And so when I was a teenager, I flared up with psoriasis. So I would literally flare up from the soles of my feet to the top of my head, and I would be covered in it at certain times. And I tried everything from steroids to herbal medicine, and kind of some things, it cleared it slightly, but then it would flare up again. And then when I've been practicing meditation quite regularly for a number of years, probably in my early 20s, it completely went and it's never come back. And that was huge for me, because it was very, not only was it difficult to deal with, it was difficult to deal with physically, also emotionally as well. And you can imagine, as a teenager, being covered in that was really difficult. So that was a huge physical benefit. And then I would say that the main other benefit for me has been how it helped me manage grief. So when my mum passed away a few years ago, meditation really was my anchor to understanding emotions. Being kind to myself was the main thing. It's made me, it's allowed me to recognize that I can be gentle with myself. So if I am feeling a certain way, that's okay. I don't need to try and force myself to feel better. I don't need to try and, resist how I'm feeling. And that was particularly helpful for me in grief. I could feel the feelings, but also not become so involved in them, because I was, I had that skill of being able to recognize without, stepping into the stories. And also, I think the main thing was that when my mum passed, it was the one way that I really connected with her. That would really help me in my grief journey, that I would sit in meditation and I'd speak to her. And it was,
that's so beautiful.
Yeah. And it was just, that was my, we call it continuing bonds in grief. That was my way of connecting with her. So there's been so many benefits. I would honestly say, as cheesy as it sounds, that it's completely changed me as a person. And I'm now the person that I always wanted to be. I always knew that I wasn't quite the person, that I always wanted to be, but I didn't know how to get there. And meditation has been, for me, the vehicle that has got me there. Yeah.
So beautiful, Catherine. Thank you so much for sharing. It's really very inspiring. Thank you.
I'm so glad you discovered meditation, Catherine. I'm so glad that you found it,
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. I think you're going to have another question now, actually. So would you like to pick another number from the Advent?
Oh, we're going again. Fabulous. Okay, so I will go for 21, please.
21. Okay, let me open that one up. Oh, right. Okay. What advice would you give someone who feels overwhelmed this Christmas period?
Oh, meditate. End of. I would say, obviously, meditation can definitely help. Mainly, I think it's important to take time for yourself to step out of the, the rush. We can often get caught up in it, can't we? Of, things have to be a certain way. There's all of these things to do. So even just taking those little pockets of time for yourself can be helpful. And I think just perhaps the recognition that the picture perfect Christmas doesn't exist. It's very, I think sometimes we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do a lot of things. And I know particularly people who have children, although a lot of my friends feel that I need to be taking them here, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing this because that's what everybody else does. Whereas I think it's just about, for me, Christmas is about, being with the people you love, with friends and family, or, taking that time for you, whatever that looks like, rather than getting caught up in the consumerism, so to speak.
Yeah. We're fed that a lot, aren't we? That the idea of like the TV family who just look like they're having so much fun, and all this wonderful food and all these presents, and it puts so much pressure on us, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Then sometimes it just merely is about connection. That's it, isn't it? Thank you.
So Catherine.
Yep. Okay, shall I pick a number?
Yes, please.
I will pick number 5.
Wonderful.
I hope it's a good one.
Number 5. So, what is your favourite style of meditation to practice?
Gosh, right. I think my favourite style of meditation to practice would be whatever's working for me at the time. Because I do practice different sorts of meditation. So my favourite meditation would be whatever I feel really in tune with at that time, really. I would say my go-to meditation, the one I use them probably most frequently, is mantra meditation, probably because of my introduction to meditation. I also love chanting. So I don't actually always call that a meditation, but I do chanting. I think those are my 2 real go-to meditations. But at the moment, I've also been practicing yoga nidra, which I found incredible. So I think that's my answer, really. Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you. I think, that's practicing a style that works for you at a given time is really important, isn't it? Because we might kind of benefit from certain practices at certain times, need something different from our practice. So being able to kind of have that toolbox of skills, so to speak, on it.
Although I do think as well that it is quite important to, we do have a toolbox, but for me personally, I sort of practice a style for quite a long time, because I feel then that you get the depth of experience, and I don't tend to sort of flit about so much. I will stick with one for a period of time. I would say I probably practice mantra meditation every day and one other, and it's usually one other for a substantial period of time, just really to get into it. But that's my personal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you look at it from a scientific perspective, we are changing different parts of our brain when we practice certain styles of meditation. So the more we practice that one particular style, we are going to train that brain, aren't we? And I think everybody's different, aren't they? Which is the beauty of meditation. Some people do pick and choose, some people stick with one style. So yeah,
it's whatever works for you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sarah, do you want to pick a number?
I'm going to pick Christmas Day.
How
Okay.
could I not?
All right,
Is
here we
that
go.
allowed?
Yes, you can. All right, number 25.
It means you get the big chocolate at the
Oh,
end.
well, no one else picked it.
Right, Sarah, why did you want to train to become a meditation teacher?
Well, in all honesty, I didn't know that I did want to train. Because if it's taken a little bit of reverse here, when I was in my late 20s, I ended up with ME, and I discovered meditation. And meditation wasn't the only thing that helped me, but it was a big chunk of helping me to get back into a really good, healthy balance with my mind and body. And I just continued to meditate myself. I hadn't had any formal training. I'd learnt from a book. Any attempt to go to any class, and there wasn't many classes around, I just didn't enjoy where I had. I'd gone to the Buddhist centre, and I ended up there on an occasion where they did a 40-minute silent meditation. So there wasn't any guidance. There wasn't anybody to say, hey, if this is happening, this is okay. So I just struggled for 40 minutes in a lot of pain because my body was so fatigued. And then I went to a guided visualization group, and I couldn't visualize. So I thought something was wrong. So I kind of done my own thing for so long. And I think in my head, I thought that you could only teach meditation if you were a Buddhist. That was just in my head. That's what I thought. So when I was well again, when I was completely healthy and happy and strong, and I decided that I wanted to set up a business to help other people going through a tough time. And I trained in lots of different holistic therapies to do this. And along the way, I would give little tips on meditation to some of the people that would come in. And they would say quite often, would you teach me, properly? I'd love to learn. And I would say, oh no, because I don't, these are just tips. I don't, I'm not a teacher. And this went on for over about 10 years altogether. And now I wasn't this one day looking on Google to be able to teach meditation. I can't even remember what I was looking at. I think I was looking for something completely different, but up popped the British School of Meditation. And I went to look at the website and thought, oh my golly, it's for people like me. You don't have to be a Buddhist, and there is a way to teach. But then I still thought, I don't know if I can do that because I haven't had the formal training, and I forgot about it. But over about a 3-month period, another couple of occasions, this website popped up again. So I took the plunge and decided to phone up. And speaking to the co-owner at the time, Mary Pearson, just put my mind at rest that yes, I had the right experience in order to be able to be a meditation teacher. And the reason for doing that was still the same. I just wanted to help people going through a tough time to find a better way. And I wanted to help people that were going down the slippery slope of feeling overwhelmed, and before they hit that place where, they were sinking, I wanted to reach out to those people. And that's who I've always worked with ever since. Those are the people I've always worked with. So I'm so glad I did that Google search. I think I was looking for
So are we.
yeah, I think I was looking for tents. I don't know what happened, but I don't know if there was a divine intervention here. But, and I'm going to tell you something as well. I phoned Mary Pearson and spoke to her, and she sent me everything out, and I lost my confidence.
Oh.
And I didn't get back to her. I didn't send the payment for the deposit.
Yeah.
I didn't send the form.
Yeah.
And she contacted me and said, we'd really love you to come. And that was why I came. That in the end, I lacked that confidence at that time, that belief in myself. And just her saying that really helped me. It really, really helped me to believe in myself.
Yeah.
I think that's what, when people come and train with us, I always take that with me. I just want people to believe in themselves. They've come for a reason.
Yeah.
Let that reason, shine, because that's what this course helped me to do.
Well, that's beautiful. Amazing.
Oh,
What
brilliant.
what a fantastic conversation.
It's been so much. Do you know, I feel like I've really learned more about you two, and I
I
think, you know,
know.
Yeah.
we've chatted so much,
Mm.
you know, since we took the organisation over in April, and obviously we knew one another before, but this has just been amazing. I've loved this.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Can we
Well,
just keep doing it?
yeah.
Find other, maybe have a spring one, a spring
Yeah.
advent.
We'll start every meeting that we have with a little round of questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fabulous. What an amazing place to end as well. It's been so lovely to speak to you both. And yeah, I hope you two both have a lovely Christmas and
Thank you.
sending love and light and wishes for a peaceful Christmas to everyone listening to this podcast.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I second that as well. Yeah.
I third it.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening.